What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. Shout out to LAR Movement that shared this video. This is going to be my reaction to a video called "Is Pick Me Culture Killing Women's Self-Esteem?" Listen to black women. Now, these black women, for the most part, you got Africa, but the rest of them I could do without, to be honest with you, as far as their opinions, because quite frankly, they're not really what an ideal black woman is anyway. And clearly this is from Madame Noire, so take this with what you will anyway. But this is something I would love to hear the women from BGS, Ignore from Women, talk about. In fact, I might email Char about this. Also, I'll eventually find the video. If I got to upload it myself, I will, of the video of the, Luke Cage cast or former Luke Cage cast commenting on being strong and independent, how that hurts black women, because I think this goes hand in hand with this video. So, as usual, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This is going to be a relatively quick video, maybe 12 to 15 minutes. It's the middle of the night, and I'm waiting for something to download. So, it is what it is. So, I would recommend you watching this video, at least the first, 4 or 5 minutes of it. At least the first 4 minutes of it before you watch this video, because that'll give you context as to what's going on. Some of the videos are like text, Twitter messages or whatever. So let me dive right in. And I think these concepts, because another word I'm going to dive deep into down the road or sooner is the term bashing, because bashing is really code word for shaming. And one of the first things that really people did when they wanted to denigrate black culture was eliminate the concept of shaming, and pick me is another offset of really shaming. So let me break this down from a man's perspective. First of all, what you all have to understand, needless to say, the video, I will say this, the video is kind of informative on what a lot of these women are thinking from a pop culture feminist standpoint. I first heard the term pick me really as to reference from swirlers referencing, Chrissy. This is one of the first times I really heard the term being thrown out. It's usually used in conjunction with the term mammy, which from a swirler's perspective is a black woman that just blindly capes for black men, which this is, if anybody knows Chrissy, this is how, or listen to Chrissy, ever, if that's what the definition is, it's just, you can just obviously tell that people are just throwing words out there that have no meaning. And illogical BS, which is usual on that side of things. But anyway, the point is, because I want to keep this really point to the term pick me. One thing I want to be understood, and this is the first thing that's very damning, and if I were to say anything, and I was really trying to communicate with sisters from a very honest point of view, this is what I would say. Only African-American women have this term called pick me. You can't find this term in any other group of women in the United States of America. And I would challenge you to find a term similar to a phraseology of this term for even any melanated woman, any black women in the diaspora. I would challenge you to find this. This is this to me, and maybe I'm wrong, but I can tell you right now, it's not in any other race in the United States. This is only a black woman term. Now, these will be the same, magazines and publications that will tell you, why can't black women get a man, which is code word for it's black men's fault. That everything's black men's fault. Whenever you hear them ask these questions about why are black women single, why are black women this, why are black women that, it's always a title, but when you go into the articles, they're designed to pretty much say, look, it's the black man's fault that we are not receiving the outcomes that we want to get. That I'm gonna keep it PG here. It's the black man's fault. Now, when you look at the term pick me is literally saying. Now, if you look at let me see if I can find it. So they define pick me culture is a pick me's motivation for shaming other women is men. Everything they do is centered around catching a man. This is what some female in Madame Noire said was a pick. So pretty much what you have to understand is all that really means is when women, anytime a woman actually now it makes a lot more sense why women are constantly throwing that at Nicole Michelle. Because anytime a woman actually tells other women that you don't have the outcomes in your relationships. See, they'll say catching a man, but it's deeper than that. So whenever somebody says you don't have the outcomes in your relationships because of things that you're doing, that's called a pick me. That woman is shamed by calling a pick me. And this is important for the brothers to understand, because this is going to be a term that's going to be thrown at women like Michelle. You're going to see this thrown at women like April Mason. You're going to see this thrown any woman that talks about black femininity. This term is coming. And it's going to be very important. This is the type of stuff that I really want brothers to start understanding, because it's going to be very important for dudes to get in front of this and really starting to break this down. Hell, I would love Sergeant Willie Pete to get in front of this thing. This, you know, if he needs some new content, I would love for him to like kind of start it off by really breaking this down, doing some videos on it. In fact, I might reach out to him because, like I said, Chrissy's been called a pick me, and I can tell you something. Chrissy ain't no damn pick me, because she, you know, like you got. Anyway, my point is, this is a shaming tactic. This is literally an ugly girl argument identifier, in my opinion. And when you actually listen to the video pretty much talks about how, you know, Africa is the only one that I would even have a conversation with at all. The rest of them, no. That's all I say with that. But the point is, even her, and obviously she's on this publication, and you know, she's been vetted. She has this thing where she wants to say, well, black women are doing all this stuff, and they got to be with the kids. They got to be all this to catch a man. Nobody is telling black women they got to do all that. That's what you all are doing, because you all want to maintain your damn independence. And I got a link in this video too. Shout out to Mr. Research that has that video of Statuesque, a video that I'm gonna put out there in a little bit that really breaks, in which I break that video down. And it's kind of a rant, kind of entertainment kind of thing, but it still has good points. But my point is, you have to understand that these, you know, this is the type of shit that when BGS Igmore says the gender war is over, I understand what he's saying as far as the environment is going to push them to have to negotiate anyway. But the reality is, this is what's going to be baked into the cake of those negotiations. So this thing about what he'll always say, well, black men and black women need to work together. No, we don't. No, we don't. Because the black community does not benefit black men. It doesn't. The black community as it's currently constructed does not benefit black men. So black men have no really need to just let it burn down, period. Because anything that comes out of that will be better than what we have now for black men. That's really kind of where we are now. So anyway, so when you hear terms like pick me and shit like that, when I say that there's 1 in 5 sisters that are functional marriage material, this word is a direct attack against them. And if you notice, they brought up 2 women, and I want y'all to know that Aisha Curry, who's married, successful, light-skinned woman, said what she said, and then a very dark-skinned woman, and a Marilyn Negra. Now, I will tell you that Marilyn Negra is probably, when you listen to your Paris Milans, when you listen to your Chrissy's, or any females that want to talk about colorism, a Marilyn Negra is probably the archetype as to how black women really need to handle colorism. When you look at how she puts herself out there, how she ain't like thotting it up, but she's still basically putting herself out there from a femininity, sexually standpoint. I think she strikes a balance. pretty well about that. She's doing what really should be done. This is what Sarge is saying should be done. But a lot of these women don't want to do it. So you got women like the panel on Madame Loire, whatever their name is, that will get in the way of doing that, because they'll say we shouldn't have to do that, or as women we shouldn't have to do that, but they want those benefits of other women doing it. That's what's not understood. They want that white status, the myth of white womanhood status, that validation from the American community. See, they always blame black men, but that's not really what they're looking for. They're not looking for black men's validation. They're looking for all men's validation. And what they're doing is they're blaming black men for not getting all men's validation. That's another video in itself. But this term, pick me. And if you notice, like, I'm kind of tired right now, so I just wanted to put this out there and get it out here, because I'm going to do something more in depth. I'm probably going to do a hangout on this. I'm probably going to do a hangout on terms, and I'm going to do a couple of videos. I'll do a much more refined video later, and I'm going to do, like, pick me. I'm going to do a term bashing, and we're going to have about 5 or 6 terms. Kind of like how Marcus Brown did to send off bitches. We're going to have a conversation about these damn terms, because it's important to understand where they're coming from. But anyway, like I said, this term, a couple of things. So it has nothing to do with light skin or dark skin. That's the one thing I want to make very clear. This is about a mindset. Anytime a woman holds herself accountable to her outcomes in relationships, she's going to be called a pick-me. And what you're going to have, if you listen to videos, you're going to have women like Africa that tries to sit here and says black women are doing all this stuff. And the reality is, most of what black women are doing, they chose to do. If you talk about you have a kid and you're working a job, these are things you're choosing to do. First of all, that's kind of like code for single motherhood. And it's this entitlement. And the other thing, again, I got to hammer this over and over again. This is not a term that exists in other cultures. This is a matriarchal term. And this is a big reason. So you literally, so when other women, this is why you don't have women really speak up. This is the Borg hive mind that Obsidian's talking about. These women that will come up with these terms, and they don't believe in bashing or shaming until you're trying to hold them accountable, even as a female, and then they come out with all the shaming. How dare you not have a job? How dare you be feminine? How dare you actually sit at home and be a stay-at-home mom? How dare you do all these things that go against the matriarchy? This is the mindset. This is why most black women are not marriage material, not dateable today. This is, you know, Erica. I know Erica kind of got a little annoyed. I wouldn't say upset, but annoyed a long time ago when I said offline that 80% of black women are not marriage material. Hell, I go as high as to tell you 60% of black women are not dateable. But my point is, this is why I was saying that, because you have this in the atmosphere. Anything that has to do with accountability for women, you have this in the mainstream atmosphere corrupting women. Now, here's the funny thing about it. You don't have, this term doesn't exist when a black woman's trying to catch a white man. There's no such thing as a pick-me when they're trying to get a non-black man. But when it comes to a black man, they're not deserving. And I will point you to the link below of STATUESQUE video that Mr. Research re-uploaded on his channel, and listen to that. And then combine that with this. Then I might link BGS's Myth of White Womanhood status video in there. This stuff needs to come together so dudes get gamed up. Because when I say what I say, it's things that can kind of sound a little, it's not even extreme. It sounds extreme to people that are not initiated. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because the environment changing is not going to change this mindset. BGS Igmore will say, well, women are not stupid. I believe, I agree, women are not stupid. But that doesn't mean women cannot be deceitful and they can't just pretend like they don't feel a certain type of way. Just like when women get ran through and women basically run their mileage up, that does not mean that these women really want to be with dudes that they end up settling with. Just because they pretend does not mean that that's really what they want. And you see it in the contempt that it comes up. And BGS will tell you a lot of these women have contempt. They just don't go off about it like Cynthia G does. A lot of that is because they don't respect black men. And quite frankly, black women that don't respect black men, I don't give a damn what the reason is. I don't give a damn if it's your dad wasn't there or whatever. I don't care. You don't deserve protection. Period. Jason Black said something very telling. Jason Black said, if you don't recognize the primacy of the black man, then you have no right to actually comment on anything the black man is doing. Now, I don't think he would go as far as I'm going, but I would take that a step further. I would say, if you don't recognize the primacy of a black man, you don't deserve protection from a black man. And there is no, well, you don't deserve protection, and then when you go to white daddy, no. If you go to white daddy, you become an enemy of the state, and you need to be handled as such. And you're starting to see this with a lot of black men and what they're doing, the way their voting patterns are. So anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. This is just my initial reaction. You know, shout out to LAR for sharing this video. Like I said, two of these chicks, you got the hood rat chick. You got the chick that want to be, she wants to be like sophisticated and hood at the same time. You got the, all the chicks got weave on. I mean, don't get me started on this shit. It's too early for this shit. But anyway, I just wanted to put this out here. So this is Edward signing off. Peace.